Verse 1, for behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations.
Okay, so this is future prophecy. While the Most High is actually gathering the elect, all right, brothers is coming into his fold. The Lord is also gathering the heathen over in the valley of Jehoshaphat. This is where you got the BRICS heating up. All right, you got Russia. They actually set up train lines through Syria. All right, in Syria they was linking up with Iran. So there's a lot of nations that's linking up over in the Middle East. There's a gathering of the elect, there's a gathering of the heathen.
And will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat.
Right? That's Yahweh Shabbat, the Most High judgment. All right, they got to be judged because they all took part in ruling over Israel, and pretty much not just that service. All right, so this is going to be a judgment. The Babylonian Empire, Medo-Persian, Grecian Empire. All right, they all pretty much have they put up on it.
And will plead with them there for my people.
In the east, brother.
What? For lo, I will rise your cause and come up against Babylon, which is the capital, and the center of great nations. You see the great nations coming together. You see North Korea visiting Russia. So, and also Russia gave North Korea ICW business deal with it. Japan, South Korea, and the United States. So that reciprocal great nations consist of Russia, China, North Korea, Iran, Pakistan, India, Ethiopia, Libya. These different nations will come together and will make a war against Ezekiel 37th chapter. So the truth when it says, Hello, I'm going to raise the course to come up against Babylon, Mr. President, and the city of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against it, but it's a formation. And the true mystery of this speech, it says, they shall set themselves in array against it, for then she shall be taken their arrows as a supersonic, hypersonic, ice-lifting missiles, shall be as a mighty estimate, spiritually guided by Yahweh Shah. It says, none shall return in vain, and Chaldea shall be a spoil. This is the covenant, another name for covenant. Chaldea shall be a spoil. All that spoil, all these situations that spoil, that destroy this bitch, shall be satisfied to the Lord of the house. Christ.
Second behold, said the Most High, I will call together all the kings of the earth, reverence, which are from the rising of the sun, from the south, from the east, and from the ends and heaveners, learn themselves one another, and repay the things that they have done to them.
That's the thing. That's also Revelation 16 chapter speaks on the Euphrates River drying up. They did away with things.
It says, Joel 3 and verse 2.
I said, the Euphrates River has been drying up for the past 14 years. They found caves under the Euphrates River. They found artifacts. They found gold under there, different things that has been lost when the Euphrates River was a heavy river. It was a deep river, you know? Now it's dried up.
You know what they found out? There's one part of the river where there's a star. You know what a star is, right? Alpha and Omega, and Hebrew is R, star. The Alpha and Omega. Omega means the end of something. That's where you get the word Omega. So one part of the river, you see the star, which means the end. You know?
Right.
Yeah, man, it represents the end.
Joel 3 and 2. I will also gather all nations and bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land, and they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot.
That was based on the slave trade. All right, giving a boy for a harlot. You sold for models on, sold for gold. All right, that's why the Lord, said, how would you reap this? These are the things that was going on with Israel, and once you get to Daniel the 7th chapter, it shows you that every empire that ruled over, all right, and they haven't gotten judged.
It says, and sold a girl for wine, that they might drink. Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon?
Right, Tyre and Zidon was a major area where the import export happened. All right, the Hamites, and they held assist in the slave trade. The Hamites, the Ishmaelites, Esau, Edom. All right, they all took part, and just like Psalms 83rd chapter, they go into it.
It's a good precept there, Psalms 83rd chapter.
Isaiah 47:6. I was brought from my people, and I put my heritage, and given them into thine hand. Thou didst show them no mercy upon the ancient of them very heavily with thy yoke, and thou saidest, I shall be a lady forever. Isaiah chapter 47:7. And thou saidest, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay the stone in thy heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it. Therefore hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures that dwellest carelessly, that saith in thy heart, I am and none else beside thee. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children.
That's America. Live carelessly, as you can see. All right. And they don't believe they got the greatest army. They don't believe they're gonna get taken down. The people here don't believe America's gonna get taken down. That's why they're not really. That's why nobody's even gathering out here. Everything's going on in the news. You just had the companies complaining against Ford. But America is so far from people's minds, they don't see that you can ever fall.
It says, but these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood, they shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries, and for the great abundance of thy iniquity.
Perfection of judgment is those missiles, man. That's what the Lord was waiting for.
You still watch that video? Guided technology, the missiles everywhere.
My brother did a lesson on that. But they were doing something good.
Right. It says, and sold a girl for wine, that they might drink. Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coast of Palestine?
All right, this goes once again going into the Psalms, the 83rd chapter. These are all who took part. They did it and cut us off from remembrance, because when we remembered the Most High, we were in power. So they had to cut us off from the priesthood, from remembering the name of the Lord, and in that way they could just rule and take over. All right.
When we call ourselves Africans, they ain't got a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Call ourselves Muslim, no problem. Call ourselves Israelites, now we got a problem. That should tell us something right there.
Like that new movie Jay-Z's coming out with, where he's portraying all the people in the Bible as Jake. Esau is having a big uproar about that right now.
Yeah.
So it goes into what you were just saying. If he was doing something on Africa,
the main character's a fucking faggot.
oh, that the dude from
All kind of faggot roles. I ain't seen that fucking movie.
Right.
Fuck that bullshit, man.
Yeah, but they getting mad about it. But if Jake would have done something about Back to Africa, they would have been like, it would have been the best movie since sliced bread. You know what I'm saying? The best thing since sliced bread. Oh,
Why
Wakanda.
did they have a problem with us calling us
That's right.
ourselves Israelites? Why is that?
Hey.
Because the top wicked elite of Esau, they've hidden that knowledge for eons, man. They've always known we're the Israelites.
Hey, Apostle, the brother just made a good point. Even in that Wakanda Forever movie, here it is. You have a movie about Jake having spiritual powers and everything, but the message is we all African. So let that play. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just a fantasy in their head. They don't want Jake getting nothing real in their head. You know?
Make room for people coming. They said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
That's right.
It says, will you render me a recompense And if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head.
Right? You can't pay the Most High. It says that Micah the 7th chapter. You know how should we come before the Most High? Should he give rivers of oil, you know, or fatted calf? There's no way you can repay the Most High for what you've done to the children of Israel. You know, but the Most High is going to, as he said in Numbers 35, you know, only by blood shall the land be cleansed. That's the only way.
The only recompense is them going into slavery, like they had us in slavery.
Yeah.
That's the only recompense.
Isaiah 34, verse 8, it says, For it is the day of the Lord's vengeance and the year of recompense, which means payback for the controversy of Zion. If you look up the word controversy, it means dispute. Dispute means a disagreement, an argument, a debate. A territorial dispute between
Should've
two
went live.
countries. So you can apply that to two nations. So at the end of the day, send your shot back and say, what's what? The opposite is going to represent us.
That's awesome. Earlier I was watching the one in England. This one dude came up and said he was Scottish. I don't know if any of y'all saw this.
Stop. Anyway? Nah, I got it closer.
He's by himself. Teachers out there. Brother, you're wonderful. That's his name. He was out there teaching, and this dude from Scotland came up.
Speak loud, huh?
This dude from Scotland came up, right? And he asked, they were dialoguing, and then Jonathan said, look, you're not the real Levites. He said he was a Levite. And as soon as he said that, the dude just ran away. I mean, you have to watch the video. I don't remember everything, but I do remember that part. As soon as he said, look, you're not the real Levites. The dude just, he got offended and he just walked away. You know? He's a new
Yeah. See, Esau, some international bankers, they like to buy people off, pay off countries, you know, and they sell out and become public rulers for the sake of Esau. But you can't buy out the Most High. You can't buy the Most High out, you know, and thinking that everything's gonna be okay. This is Zephaniah chapter 1 verse 18. Neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath. But the whole land shall be devoured by fire of his jealousy, for he shall make a speedy riddance of all them that dwell in the land.
Okay, I think Russia said we'll do it for 5 rubles or 5 something in a currency, which is pretty much nothing. Rubles. So pretty much, man, you can't pay the Most High judgment off. You know, it's gonna go down.
Speedy riddance, that's an hour. It's only going to take Yahushua 1 hour
Right.
to destroy this bitch.
Right.
America is a pretty big place. I mean, for you to travel from New York to California, what is it, 3 hours? That's by plane. That's a plane going at 500 miles an hour. 3 hours? So that's a pretty vast place.
Joel 3 and 5. Because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly, pleasant things.
Right. Hey, the Most High look at us as silver and gold. It says in Malachi that in that day when I make up my Jews. Okay, and also it shows you each tribe representing a specific gem or stone. Okay, so that the Most High actually says that. The book of Lamentations 4:1. How is the gold become dim? How is the most fine gold changed? The stones of the sanctuaries are poured out in the top of every street. The precious sons of Zion comparable to fine gold.
Hey, if I can say it, even in the land of Israel, the deeper you go, there's a lot of precious stones in that land. The deeper you go, like up in the mountains and everything, if you're doing archaeology, you'll find a lot of precious stones in that land.
Wow.
I wonder why.
That's the chosen land.
I
Right.
can say something too. Also, you have in Rome, you have the Archetitus, right? And it shows you it shows you in the Ark of Titus how they basically raided the temple.
Yeah.
They got the menorah. They got all of the goodly and pleasant things that the so-called white man stole from
Yep.
our city.
Underneath the ark, they got the murals. Right. That show you how proud these devils are. They ain't painted our destruction. Yeah, this is how we took you down. We robbed your treasures. We raided your temples.
Yeah, Apostle.
Yeah,
And that's
Judah
how you know those are not the real Jews. Because if those were the real Jews, that thing down there on 51st Street would have been destroyed. They would have been took that down already. You know, you can't even say anything about them so-called Jews without them taking down your video on YouTube. So imagine, you know, something like that. They would have been took that down. You know?
Yeah, it says, and have carried into your temples my goodly, pleasant things. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians.
Right. These Grecians is talking about Esau, Edom. And that's why they show you, I believe it was National Treasure or Da Vinci Code, that Esau got all of this elaborate things of the ancient world underneath the Vatican. You know, he has all of this stuff. All right, we got sold to who? The Grecians. All right, who's the modern day Grecians? Esau, Edom. You know that because they schools, their colleges, got Greek fraternities. All right, you see it all over. The sports. Okay.
The medical terminology is in Greek and Latin.
Con.
Oh yeah, the bodies, deltoids.
Right,
you know what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
Gluteus maximus and all.
And the Olympics, the top Olympics, you got Jake in it. Yep.
So, that ye might remove them far from their border. Behold,
What does that mean?
Move them far from their border, move us far from the land of
of
Israel.
We got that document, the Balfour Declaration. They're boasting about how they took our land.
Right, deceitfully Esau, yep, to become, make themselves those who are not they're not the real Jews, you know.
it says, the children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians, that ye might remove them far from their border. Behold, I will raise them out of the place whither ye have sold them.
Right, and the different captivities. This is why you got Jake waking up all over the world, and they coming into this truth. They calling on the name of the Lord, one consent. All right, they calling themselves Hebrew Israelites. The apostles was going into it earlier, you know. Right, and remembering from the rivers of Babylon, you know, they understanding who they are. This is the Great Awakening. And,
The main place is America.
the
Raise
main
them
place
up.
is America.
Because the main group of the elect is right here in America, Babylon the Great. Not Africa, Nate. We're saying that. We're saying that all today.
It says, and will return your recompense upon your own head, and I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah.
And we read that in Isaiah 14, shall possess them who were captives ye were. Revelation also say, who leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. So this is a fair judgment. Y'all had y'all rule, y'all had y'all way, but now the Lord is about to turn things around. Okay?
Deuteronomy 30, verse 7. And the Lord Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai, thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee.
Who persecuted us? Again, Psalms 83 give you the list. The main one is Esau, Edom, and that's the main one who the Most High is going to get at. He's going to get at all the nations pursuing the Joel, the 3rd chapter, which we're going into. But the main one is going to be Esau, Edom. All right?
It says, and they shall sell them to the Sabians, to a people far off.
Right. This is going to be the new transatlantic slave trade, so to speak. All right, you're going to be selling them off. They're going to be auctioned off on the auction blocks, man.
Right. We're getting with that Top Bankers family.
Yeah, you're getting it.
Real quick, I was watching a documentary earlier, and it was going into how these elite women, when they had the elite plantations that owned thousands of slaves, when the husband was away, what they would do was they would make Jake have sex with them, you know, and if Jake refused, they would either beat the shit out of Jake with whips and everything, torture them because they had other men that was with them, and then, or they would say, listen, if you don't have sex with me, I'm gonna lie and tell you, I'm gonna say that you try to rape me. Wow. So a lot of Jake was forced to have sex with these Edomite women. And then when the Edomite women become pregnant, you know, and then a man come back, now they will brutally just kill the Jake that got them pregnant, and then also they would keep the baby. They would keep the baby and then put the baby in slavery. You know, because they knew the baby was a Jake, because they knew that the seed come from the man. So they got a lot. You Jakes got, see, you Edomites got a lot to pay for, man.
Right.
You know.
Right.
And you Jakes that want these Edomites to be saved, to be in the kingdom as well, man. You got Stockholm syndrome. You bunked out, man. For you Jakes, you Israel that saying that you shouldn't hate an Edomite.
Look up Stockholm syndrome. Look it up.
Stockholm syndrome. Yeah, come. It says, I'm gonna read it. It says, Stockholm syndrome, it refers to the bond that can develop between hostages and their captors in hostage taking and kidnapping situations. In some cases, hostages may develop sympathies for their captors and their cause, and even turn against the police.
That's the black woman.
That's the black women and certain black men that have Stockholm syndrome, man.
That's that scripture, why trimmest thou thy ways to
Seek love, yeah.
There's one scripture that comes to mind.
And emotional bond, the oppression.
Yeah. Oh, trust in oppression. That's another scripture.
It says, for the Lord have spoken it. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles.
Right. These Gentiles is talking about the actual heathens. All right. You got two sets of Gentiles, Israelite foreigners, and then you got the heathens. All right. Those are totally two different. Okay.
Yeah, because the truth is, man, we're not supposed to be working, man. We're supposed to have slaves doing our work.
Yeah, that's
Even
right.
now, as I speak. You know, the fact you got to get up 9 to 5 and all that bullshit. We're Israelites, man. We're supposed to have our slaves doing that.
That's right.
Doing the work for us.
Access me and I shall give thee the heathen for thy
That's right.
possession. And the other most parts of the
Ain't no
earth.
50-50, you know, get along.
Right.
No, man. We're the Israelites and we're over you. All you other nations, we're over you. You are slaves.
Simple.
It says, prepare war. Wake up the mighty men.
Right, the mighty men, that mighty men, Russia. All right, now in the last couple of years, Russia has been a big thing in the news. All right, well that's the Lord putting that spirit on them. North Korea, they put out a bunch of propaganda videos showing how fast missiles can hit here. All right, these are the heathen actually waking up. India, they got missiles. All right, Iran, they wouldn't abide to the nuclear deal. All right, why? Because the Most High is putting the spirit of war. All right, and it's all over the news. And it's to fulfill prophecy. It's to fulfill His will.
You see the thing yet?
I'll say one thing too, right? Right, because the apostle brothers mentioned guided technology, right? These missiles, especially the ones that Russia and China has, like the SARS missile, they can reach America undetected, right? When you look into it, the way most of these nuclear missiles, these intercontinental ballistic missiles are designed, they all are mostly be launched into the northern hemisphere, from one continent to the next via the northern hemisphere. What makes Russia and China their technology more advanced than America's and able to go by their detection is the fact that they have missiles that can enter America through the southern hemisphere, meaning they can travel a longer distance than any missile that America has. That's right. So Most High is on point with that. Why are those missiles developed to that extreme?
Well, that's the Lord's army. That's Joel the second
Joel
chapter.
second chapter, yep. That's right.
Joel, for you people out there, Joel the second chapter goes into why you have the nuclear missiles. That's part of the Heavenly Father's army,
None shall
along with the angels and people. That's why he has the title, Lord of Hosts, the Lord of Armies.
And that proves that the earth is a sphere. It's not a flat earth.
Lord of Sabaoth.
That's why it says, none shall thrust another
Right.
those missiles. I mean, you ain't gonna have no surface-to-air missiles hitting it or none. It's gonna malfunction.
The
Nothing. No.
angels are going to be guiding
That's
them.
right. Yeah.
I'll make sure they hit that target and do that thing.
Hey, it's a lot. If I could say it's possible,
You got it.
I had a dream about that Joel 2nd chapter twice. Once when I wasn't in the truth, and the second time when I was in the truth. It's like I was walking, I just looked up and I saw a number of missiles, and it had the names of all the countries written on them. And the main name I remember was China. That was written in white, and it was like a big fat atomic bomb that they had. So, hey man, that's all real, man. That's all real.
It says, wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up.
Do it, man.
Beat your plowshares into swords.
Right, they drawn in. And you even have China, they buying land in Africa. Whatever reason the Most High is putting a spirit on them to, we going after resources, or we going after oil, or this is a better setup. But at the end of the day, they're drawing near to that land, the Valley of Jehoshaphat, for a judgment.
Persian Gulf.
The Persian Gulf.
I was
It says, let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears.
Right, because these were nations of agriculture. But now they're dropping the agriculture and they heaping on war right now. That's a whole mindset that the Most High put on these heathens.
This is Isaiah 54, verse 16. Slakia. It says, behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire. And we know the smith is going into the storm with those Germans that built up the what's up, y'all?
Robert Oppenheimer.
In reference to the movie Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer, right. The Germans that made the atomic bombs.
Scientists, basically.
Yep, the Hans atomic energy split into atoms, the water. It says, behold, I've created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire. So the Lord created everything, ultimately, and has bringing forth an instrument for his work. And I've created the waster to destroy. And that waster is going into those bombs. That's why we seem to get more and more advanced. Because those smiths they're still working, man. You know, the Lord putting the spirit on them to create these weapons of war.
And improve their technology.
Yeah, I was going to say that America, they invest over hundreds of billions of dollars into war every year.
Since you just said that, this is Spirit, I was reading it. This is from Air University. It says the United States has spent $19 trillion on its military since the end of the Cold War. This is spending $16 trillion more than China spent, and nearly as much as the rest of the world's combined.
Damn.
Precept to
This man is the harbinger of death.
This is the book of 1 Samuel. It's when
that
the
money
children
on
of
that shit.
Israel was going to war. It's 1 Samuel 13:19. Now there was no smith found throughout all the land of Israel, for the Philistines said, lest the Hebrews make them swords or spears. But all the Israelites went down to the Philistines to sharpen every man his plowshare, his cutler, and his axe, and his mattocks.
Wow.
Yet they had a file for the mattocks like a pickaxe, and for the coulters, and for the forks, and for the axes, and to sharpen the goads. So in the ancient world, if they didn't have enough weapons to go to war, they'll take actual agricultural tools, sharpen them up, and use it to battle. It's like a person. It's like a person breaking a glass bottle and stabbing somebody with it.
Yeah.
You know, so that shows you they're preparing. That's all representation of preparing for war.
Moab and Ammon, all their weapons were farming tools.
Oh, the nunchucks
Turned
come from that
into-
too.
The nunchuck is Japanese.
Yeah, oh, Japanese.
Yep. So the farming tools and weapons go hand in hand.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You got these different nations, you know, they getting different weapons, and you got North Korea getting weapons from Russia, Iran getting weapons from Russia, Iran sending weapons to Russia, you know, and so forth and so on. So this battle was brewing, and it's going to be a battle fueled by fire. And I got a precept to back what I'm saying up. This is Isaiah chapter 9, verse 5. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise.
Blow the dust off, huh?
Because back in the ancient world, you had hand-to-hand combat. Limbs being chopped off, heads being chopped off, guts being spilled on the ground, men screaming, you know. So that was the battle, a manly battle. It says, For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, because garments were spilled with blood all over them because they was fighting hand-to-hand combat and, you know, they're stabbing each other, cutting each other, limbs being split, everything. You know what I'm saying? It says, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire.
You say, but this is making we say, but this, the scripture say, but this, now it's making distinguish from wars in past times and the war to come. Because Isaiah, when Isaiah saw the vision, he made a comparison from ancient wars and the war that's to come. Is this war to come is going to be fought by fire. So he said, well, but this war or this battle is going to be with burning and fuel of fire.
So there are multiple warheads. Within them warheads, it's nothing but pure fire.
What you call it? As human as knowledge increases and human civilization advances, so does your methods of warfare. No, you know, imagine going into World War I fighting like Alexander. You will lose. You will lose. Because by that time, technology had got so advanced that they'll put all of them ancient battles to shame. So now, with the way technology is today, it's nothing like it'll be like the world has never seen before.
To add what he was saying, the apostles always bring this out when you go into the statue in Daniel. It goes from gold to silver to bronze.
Exactly.
And it's a less delicate kingdom, if you will, but it's a stronger military.
Yeah, because I got because when they got to the Romans,
gold, silver, bronze. You know?
An iron metal will rip through a gold. I mean, an iron sword will rip through a gold sword.
Yeah, exactly. And now, who was the great Iron Teeth? The Roman Empire, and we still under the Roman Empire today. You know, this is the last leg.
We went through that at the camp today.
Oh, you did? That's spirit. Spirit.
All right, Joel 3:10. Beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong.
Right, these nations were weak, but now they saying they strong. All right, they was weak, they fell back. Once America, going back to the Oppenheimer movie, he dropped them bombs, everybody chilled. You know, but now, why? Because they dealing with Russia and the Lord is putting a spirit on them. And the technology, everybody got a missile now. You know?
Real quick, I just thought of something, man. The spirit. I see it said, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Like the weak say, I am strong. A person that just has a plowshare, you're weak because you can't use it for battle. But if you beat it or sharpen it into a sword, now you're strong enough to go into battle. So it's like spirit, bro. That's how the scriptures, you know.
That's Ezekiel 21. The sword is sharpened. To make a sword slaughter.
Yes.
That also lines up with Revelation 6. The red beast was given power to kill. There you go, man.
Even the pruning hook, bro. Rather than just to hook the shit to you, now you got a fucking spear to throw at a motherfucker coming at you, man. Right, bro.
Technology ties hand in hand with prophecy. For prophecy to go further, technology has to. There's no way you can have the chip back, like you said, like Alexander. Technology has to be there.
Right. You even got sickles that's used for weapons of war. A sickle is an instrument that's like a round thing, and they got a handle, and it used to.
It's like a sight. It's like
so
a sight.
sickle could be used as a weapon of war.
Yeah, sir. Since you said that, sickle. This is Revelation chapter 14, verse 18. And another angel came out from the altar, which had power over fire. And that's the angels that's going to be over them nuclear missiles, stopping them from NORAD and those different anti-missile defense systems that Israel has. You know, it's going to say one shall not thrust another. That's pretty much what the anti-missile defense does. It's pretty much a missile that shoots another missile out the sky. So it says, and cried with a loud voice to him that had the sharp sickle, which is Yahweh Shai, because Yahweh Shai is the Grim Reaper, so to speak, man. Okay? It says, saying, thrust in thy sharp sickle and gather the clusters of the vine of the earth, for her grapes are fully ripe. So you're going to have certain grape, okay, that's going to be smashed. Okay, which are you people pretty much, man. Y'all going to be putting that wine press. The wine press is America, and Yahweh Shai is going to come with them big spiritual feet and smash all y'all people like grapes. That's why the scripture tell you in Revelation, it's like Isaiah 63, that the blood shall be sprinkled on his garments, man, in a spiritual sense.
It's a beam.
He gonna shed a whole lot of blood. Scripture said the slain of the Lord shall be many. And that day from one end of the earth unto the other.
That's right.
Okay? But then in Isaiah, it also tells you about that one grape of the cluster. So you got the grape of the cluster, that's the elect that's going to be delivered, man. Okay?
That's right.
That's the elect, yeah.
That's beautiful, bro.
All right, let's go. Let's go.
Right. Joel 3 and 11.
Oh, no, he's going. I got you.
Just don't squat me.
I got you.
Joel 3 and 11. It says, "Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about."
Right, they gathering themselves together. The BRICS, they gathering themselves. Okay, Esau gonna be betrayed by NATO and the EU. Okay, they gonna hate the whore. All right, everybody's gathered up, and the reason why is because America's in a way. All right, for them in their minds, America is in a way for them doing their transactions. It's easier for us to get oil through Russia. It's easier to deal with China. You don't want us to deal with China and the chips, so it's too much for the EU where America's in a way. All right, so they gather themselves together. They having their own meetings.
I got a precept to that. Zephaniah 3 and 8. "Therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them my indignation, even all my fierce anger."
So they taking pictures looking good, but they don't know they coming together for judgment. That's what it's all for. For the Most High to just pour out. The Lord got a lot of backed up anger, man. All right, and He's gonna let it loose.
For all
It's
the
like it. I read an article yesterday, just touching on your topic, that said China now has Taiwan completely surrounded by warships
Wow.
and air and fighter jets.
Check that out.
They just waiting for America to make a move. They just waiting to make a move, man. So things are getting really. I'm slacking.
No. You go ahead. Finish.
Oh, things are getting really serious now.
I was
You know
gonna
what it's going
say.
to boil down to? A Mexican standoff. Look up Mexican standoff.
I know the definition. I should.
says, "For all the."
How many of y'all saw that movie, True Romance?
Oh, I didn't see it. I saw clips of it. I didn't see the full
That's an
movie yet.
excellent movie.
I gotta watch it. I'm gonna watch it.
What am I gonna say? The last end, the scene of the movie, there was a Mexican standoff. You had the police, and you had the gangsters, and they just like fuck it, you know, we gonna kill each other. Look up the word Mexican standoff.
It's Mexican standoff from Wikipedia. A Mexican standoff is a confrontation where no strategy exists that allows any party to achieve victory. Any party initiating aggression might trigger their own demise. At the same time, the parties are unable to extract themselves from the situation without suffering a loss.
Yeah.
So watch the movie True Romance.
I'll watch that
and
tonight.
see it. I hate fucking cops. Like the guy said, I'm a cop. He said, I hate fucking cops. Then they just opened up on each other, man. And there was blood all over the place, man. You know? Hey, brother, you're gonna regret the fact that you never watched that movie. Because Blood Yum Yum, remember Yum Yum?
Oh, yeah,
He told me to watch the movie. He said, here's a movie. I said, True Romance, I'm not into love stories. He said, no, this ain't no love story, brother. I watched the movie, that's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, you got
But
grace
at
in
the
the
end of
head.
at the end of the movie, that was a Mexican standoff.
Kind of the same thing in Reservoir Dogs.
That's
Oh.
When you Google
that, that's the picture they have.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
But
Go ahead.
In True Romance, they was talking about how Sicilians are really niggas. Like if Christopher Waking killed the dude for saying that he's a nigga, well, you an eggplant. He shot him, so why he killed him? He called him a nigga.
Yeah, because in that movie goes into the whole thing about the Moors
Yeah.
and the Sicilians. Because these Sicilian guys are all Sicilians, so he basically told them, you guys are a bunch of niggas. And they got mad. Now, there was this show where they had the different actors on. This guy would interview him, right? And they had, what's the guy that played the father of Hurley? What's the guy that played the guy?
Dennis Hopper.
Dennis Hopper. He was a guest on the show. So Jake, go ahead.
I'm just listening, brother.
Okay. Hey, so you saw the movie True Romance? You ever see that movie?
Romance, a little bit. Kristen Slater's in it.
You saw the whole movie? You saw the whole movie?
Not the whole movie.
You got to see the whole movie, man. One of the best movies out. But anyway, they had this guy. What's his name? Dennis Hopper. And some Jake asked him a question about that scene. You know what he did? He said,
I don't know what he was talking about. I was just reading the script. That motherfucker knows, man. He knows. So they focus on it in that movie. Now, what you got to do is, if you can get True Romance and get the commentator, the DVD, Tarantino is a Sicilian, so you know he's a nigga. So he said, I think he said my mom's boyfriend, he was a Jake, and he said, you know the Moors, they popped all the Sicilians, so the Sicilians are really niggas. So that's why he put it in the movie, because of his mom's uncle, whatever, a mom's boyfriend or whatever the case may be. So he featured in the movies, man. You know? That's why, hey brother, they give you the truth in the movies, man. They should give you a little bit of truth in the movies.
I said, boss, can I get this on the camera? Yeah. It's just a Mexican standoff.
Was that from?
It's a Mexican standoff.
That's an actual event, though.
No.
That's what it is.
Without watching that movie.
Sulaki, I told me about it years ago, Apostle. I'm gonna check it out tonight, man. No later than tonight.
It's a good movie, boy. You ain't gonna regret it.
Yeah, I know, bro. I know. Trust me.
True Romance. Gonna make a believer out of it.
Dogs. What's the main one he got an Oscar for? He got a claim for.
That's a Quentin Tarantino shit, right?
That
Pulp
was the
Fiction
movie
was
that
great.
He gave McClane, but the real movie was True Romance. That's what he should got all the fucking awards. It was way better than Pulp.
Yeah?
It was way better.
I was just watching that the other night.
They had one of Django too. Django. Oh yeah. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, Django, man.
Yep. Okay, let's go.
So Quentin Tarantino.
Joel 3
directed it.
in verse 12. It says, let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat.
Right. I think Isaiah 14 it said he stirred up the dead, you know, the kings, the Mithi. All right, that's in correlation as well. Okay.
For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is...
Yeah, not too long ago, man. China's claim to fame was bicycles.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
remember that? Back in the 70s, all you
Yeah,
saw
that's
was the so-called Chinese on the bicycles. And now look at the technology they got.
Everything
That's the
is
scripture
made
coming
there.
to pass, man. That's prophecy coming to pass.
Moab is my wash pot. What is Moab doing? He washing everybody, man. You know?
So-called Chinese, they're known also for just stealing the technology. So what they'll do is, like, let's say the state of Israel buys something from America, the Chinese will buy it from Israel and reverse engineer it. So a lot of the shit they just steal it, they just copy it.
I think it was an F-22 jet that crashed last year. Yeah, and the Chinese, they were scrambling to get that shit, their hands on that shit, man, but they didn't.
And they're over there in Africa, buying up Africa.
Jamaica too. Jamaica too.
Moab is my wash pot.
Benjamin got a problem with the so-called Chinese.
We gotta get them out of there, man.
Chinese, man, the dumb Chinese.
Because America still got all them German scientists. They might be going by English names or Jewish names, but when it comes to the technology, the Americans still got them Germans. So that's how come the Americans have the F-22 Raptors and the stealth bombers. They got a new one called
B-2.
the B-7.
It's the advance to the B2. I know you're talking about.
It looked like a so-called UFO. They got this new this bomber out. If you look at it, it looks just like a flying saucer.
Bro, the creator of the B2 bomber, he saw a chariot and mimicked the chariot. So that's why the fighter looked like
If I may say, the so-called Chinese, they're over there building highways. There's this dude I watch, his channel is I Am Marwa, and he was going out, he went back to his country in Kenya, he was going over this highway and he said, yes, the Chinese built this.
Yeah, they built them in Jamaica too.
Yeah, so that's the scripture, how's it go, let the weak say I'm strong. Let the weak say I'm strong. Yeah.
Oh, and if you look closely about Taiwan, and the reason why China wants to take hold of it, Taiwan is in control of 60% of producing of semiconductors, and over chips. Yeah, over 90% of most advanced semiconductors. Now, the reason why this is important because it says most of the major U.S. defense systems rely on semiconductor technology. So the fact that they build nuclear missiles, they need that semiconductor technology, which is in Taiwan, which is controlled by China.
They have the majority of it.
Yeah, so it's literally like chokeholding America from defending itself militarily.
You gotta understand something too. China, the Biden administration I think it's in Oklahoma or one of these, or even Florida or California. They got this. They're building a factory where they build semiconductors and chips. That's Taiwan made. A Taiwanese government, a company in America, and they built it, and that's why they destroyed that company over in Taiwan. You know, so they got a duplicate company over in. They trying to control what's going. The chips, all the chips that go into these cars is made in Taiwan. So with the semiconductors.
What do you need to stack the chips? What do you need to stack the chips?
What do you mean stack? What do you mean?
To stack? You got to stack the chips.
Motherboard?
Huh?
Motherboard?
Nope.
Oh, you mean like a precious metal?
Is it lithium?
Nope.
It's not opium.
Nope.
What do you need to
It's
stack?
something that Ukraine has abundance of. Neon gases.
Oh, gas.
When you stack the chip, you need the neon gases. Why do you think the U.S. is giving so many billions to Ukraine? Because they don't want Russia. See, Russia takes Ukraine, China takes
Taiwan?
Taiwan.
Yeah.
They work with each other.
And they got the bricks
We
going
got
on.
the chips. And another thing, the Taiwanese, they've been doing the chips for so long, they're experts at doing it. The Chinese can't put it together the way they do it because that's all they do. That's their expertise. So that's another reason why China just can't take it over. They got to make Taiwan part of China to control it. The same thing goes. Hey, the Germans, they made a pact with the U.S. that they're not going to buy anything from Russians, but they're catching hell with the oil and the gas because they get it at a cheaper price. So the Germans are saying, "Fuck America, we're going to buy this shit anyway."
Yeah.
And the French are doing the same thing. So guess what? That's going to cause what? Revelation 17 and 12 on down. Y'all should know that by heart. Because America's saying do this and don't do that. They say, what the fuck? She don't stop. Fuck you. They're all going to hate him. They're all going to hate her. Right. So this man, hey, this going to be nothing but a Mexican standoff, man. That's all it is, man. They put their nose in too many business, but anytime America wants to support a country, it's because of the resources. They don't want another country to take it. Remember, the neon gases and the chip, which is Taiwan and Ukraine. Russia get Ukraine, China gets Taiwan. You come together. They can call embargo. You know what an embargo is, right? An embargo is when you have something you don't get, like when America did to Cuba. We ain't giving you nothing. You're gonna starve. So as soon as them Russia and China get together, they can say fuck America, and then guess what? No more cars. You can't make no more cars because you need chips. Y'all done got me started, man. I'm trying to get quiet, but go ahead.
I got a little bit on an article. This is from CSIS.org. Semiconductors in national defense. What are the stakes? All major U.S. defense systems and platforms rely on semiconductors for their performance. Consequently, the erosion of U.S. capabilities in microelectronics is a direct threat to the United States' ability to defend itself and its allies. Moreover, the U.S. civilian economy is deeply dependent on semiconductor-based platforms for its daily operations. Ensuring U.S. leadership in semiconductor technology and securing an integrity of the value chains that design, manufacture, package, and distribute these chips are perhaps the preeminent economic and national security concerns of the modern era.
And if you hold the semiconductors, you could have an inflation on a lot of things. When the PS5 first dropped, they were going for like $2,000-$3,000 because they couldn't mass produce them because they was limited to these chips. So like you said, the chips are in everything. So if they hold the embargo on that, a car could go for like $200,000. A car that was once $20,000 could be $200,000 because they just can't manufacture it.
Yep.
I think that major company is Nvidia.
Yeah, you got NVIDIA.
Yeah, for the chips. Yeah, Nvidia.
You got all these electric car companies popping up anywhere, man. If you buy an electric car, you're stupid.
Yeah, that's just a control.
You're dumb.
You can't go great with an electric car.
Facts.
I think every 3 hours you got to charge the shit. You got to plug it back in.
They're going
and charge it.
outlaw the internal combustion car. You're going to outlaw
Gas cars, yep.
2030. Then you can only have an electric car, and they control you.
So that 15-minute cities, huh?
Right? 15, 20-minute cities. We got 2 minutes, brother. Let's come on.
It says,
How many more verses we got?
we got over 9.
Huh?
We're in verse 13. So it's about 8 more, 8 or 9 more. About 8 or 9 more.
Go ahead. Let's go.
Verse 12, meant to say, Yahweh Shabbat, water.
Alright, yeah, so
Both sides judgment. Wow.
yeah, reading on Joel 3 and 13. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full. The fats overflow, for their wickedness is great.
Right. Second Esdras, the 3rd chapter, it spoke on that. You know, what if that grain of evil seed, you know, brought forth much fruit, you know, and now the Most High is about to clean it up. You know, the sins of Babylon reached into the heavens. So it's time to harvest it, judgment, maturity. God. That's the full.
It says multitudes in the valley of decision.
Right, these are the armies. Also, 2 Esdras 15 it says the Carmanians shall come raging. You know, again the Euphrates River drying up to prepare the way for the kings of the east.
It says, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. The sun and the moon shall be darkened.
Right, you got solar eclipses, lunar eclipses. I believe there was it was supposed to be one that was hitting South America real soon. Yeah, I seen it in the news. It was supposed to be pretty much hitting the side of South America where they were supposed to see like a solar eclipse, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, okay.
Also, that most high gonna show signs of heaven up.
Yep.
And also, you know, missiles too.
The missiles blocking out the light. Right. The water.
It says, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. The Lord also shall roar out of Zion and utter his voice from Jerusalem, and the heavens and the earth shall shake. But the Lord will be the hope of his people and the strength.
That's the force of the missiles exploding. It says that also in Haggai 2 and 6.
Shake the earth.
Yeah, once more I rise to shake the earth. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard. Is that Isaiah 24? So a lot of people gonna have heart attacks on the earth. The earth reeling, man, to and fro.
And the strength of the children of Israel. So shall ye know that I am Yahweh, Hashem Yahushua, your power.
Right. That's when the Most High speaks on, like the Romans, the 9th chapter, how his name was glorified through the judgment he did to Egypt.
Right.
This main judgment is also going to spread the name of the Lord into these nations fearing, and Israel's going to fear. Everybody's going to fear and remember Yahweh Hashem Yahushua.
I got that for you real quick. This is Psalms 9 and 16. The Lord Yahweh is known by the judgment which he executed. The wicked is snared in the work of his own hands. Like you just mentioned. You know, the Most High brings forth his judgment. His name gets declared throughout the earth. Just like he said, he created the smith because he's letting you know it's me. I'm ultimately the one that's bringing in that power.
Right.
You know?
Hey, Salakia, one thing, and that's what when they went to Rahab the harlot, that's what she said. We heard what you did to the Egyptians. So the Most High's name was ringing bells, man.
Right.
Now it's gonna be Yahushua's name that's gonna be ringing them bells, man.
Right along with the Most High's name.
That's right. That's right along, Salakia.
Yep.
Yep.
No, you're
That's
right.
right.
Go ahead.
It says, so shall you know that I am Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, your power, dwelling in Zion, my holy mountain.
Right. You're going to know the Lord because the prophet spoke about it. So when it's done, everybody's going to know what this is the Lord's judgment. Because I heard his men speaking about these things. Right?
Yeah, after you bring that major ass whooping, everybody's going to know who did it. Oh, then he's going to be like, don't fuck to me. Yeah.
This is in Romans 9 and verse 22. What if the Most High, willing to show his wrath and to make his power known, endured with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted for destruction?
That's right.
Go ahead, bro.
Then shall Jerusalem be holy, and there shall no strangers pass through her anymore.
Right. Ain't nobody else gonna take over Jerusalem. It said the saints shall possess the kingdom. You know, and nobody else is gonna come out after that. Nobody got next but us.
The land is going to be beautified.
Yep.
And have that glorious kingdom now.
That's right, man. Rest.
It says,
There you go.
Rest.
and it shall come to pass in that day that the mountains shall drop down new wine, and the hills shall flow with milk.
Isaiah the 60th chapter, the wealth of the Gentiles.
The law of the Heavenly Father will be in full effect.
Come.
Right. Esau will be a thing of the past.
Right.
Because he'll be in slavery.
And all the rivers of Judah shall flow with waters, and a fountain shall come forth of the house of the Lord, and shall water the valley of Shittim. Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness.
Woo! Esau, Edom, all right? America, Babylon, also known as Egypt, spiritually Sodom and Egypt. So, you know, this place is going to burn. It says it's going to be burning.
Well, according to Nate, though, it's going to burn forever, though.
Let's not listen
How
to
you
him.
explain the desolate wilderness?
Right. For the violence against the children of Judah, because they have shed innocent blood in their land. But Judah shall dwell forever, and Jerusalem from generation to generation.
Right. These are the Israelites. They're going to dwell forever and ever. All right?
For I will cleanse their blood that I have not cleansed, for the Lord dwelleth in Zion.
Right. Israel! 6 says that you shall wash us away, give us a new heart. All right? So the Lord is going to be inside of us, and we're going to pretty much perfect it, man.
Right.
Israel!
That's right, man.
Right.
That was
That's it?
That was
it.
Right.
Got